Sarah, start. Good morning. Good morning to you. Welcome to Camnet Breakfast with me, Precious Mzea Saka Leji, and then I have got Sarah Mwanga on the other side. Yes. I had to pull your leg like that.
How?
Because you bribed me before the show.
Come on, you are not supposed to expose it now.
Corruption will never end in Zambia. I'm telling you for the truth. Hey. But anyways, thank you for joining us this morning. We're glad to be on your screens and make sure that we update you on current affairs that you missed out during the course of the week, and also make sure that you get ready for the weekend with some health tips and also how to make sure that you take care of your body. So today's topic is quite something very interesting, considering the fact that we're talking about your health and taking care of your body. When was the last time you were at the hospital?
I think last month.
Did your sickness require you to get medicine from the hospital?
Definitely.
Did you manage, or you were given a prescription?
I didn't manage. I was given a prescription.
Yes. So hence the reason, what is a permanent solution to our health care challenges that we are facing in Zambia? If you got any suggestions concerning that topic of discussion, all you can do is get to our Facebook fan page, which is Camnet TV, get connected with us, like the page, and also you can comment on the topic that will be or has already been posted out for you. Or if you want, you can call us live on set right here on 09766554 and then we can get talking. So right about now, quickly, how has been your week?
It has been okay. How has been your week?
Not that I really want to know, but how has been your week?
Precious, okay.
You had exams. You had exams.
I have exams, plus I wasn't feeling too well the past 2 days.
It was just exam fever.
Precious, sure. Precious, it's not the exam fever.
Are you sure though?
Kind of, you know.
Well, for me, it doesn't matter at what age I'm at. If it's exam time, 2-3 weeks, or during exams, I get exam fever.
Wow. Anyway, it's normal.
Like it's like a mask.
Yeah, it's normal.
It's a mental thing, but I'll work on it.
Yeah, I'll also work
all
on
the best anyway, because you still have some papers to go.
Definitely.
Yes, so now let's quickly get into our first segment of the day, which is the morning boost. Then afterwards, we'll get back to you. Coming next, we'll have money market and also the health talk on the other side, and we'll get to zoom into the headlines. And later on, we'll have our guests that will come to you and just highlight more on our topic of discussion for today. Let's get into the morning boost. We'll continue the conversation on the other side. Good morning.
It's a beautiful morning and I welcome you to Morning Boost. I'm so glad that you've tuned in and hope you had a great night. So let's do some workouts this morning and we're going to have a great time. So we're going to start with a warm-up and then make some aerobics movements for today. Okay, ready? Let's go. A beautiful morning to everybody and welcome to Morning Boost. Let's go. Go. And the V step now. Let's go. Last V step. Back to step touch. V step. Let's go. Let's go. And marching. And 4, 3, 2, step touch, go. Bring in your hands now. Let's go. Let's go. Just a quick workout in the morning. Not a full-fledged workout, no. Keep going. And 4, 3, 2, hamstring, go. 4, 3, 2, step touch. 4, 3, 2, and hamstring. And 4, 3, 2, step touch. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Keep going, stay at it. Go. Easy basic workouts for the morning and matching. Skip, jump now, go. Let's go, skip. Try this. Even if you feel heavy in your body, you can do this. Let's go. There's always a first time. You may struggle, but it's doable. Let's go. And 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Change now. Let's go. Very easy for a morning workout. Lift your knee very high. Go. Let's go. Stay at it. Stay at it. We're going to bring in a kick now from a knee high to a kick. Go. Go. Let's go. Let there be a blood circulation on your legs so that you don't have that numbness you feel at times. Kick. 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 Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Straight kicks now. Go. Straight kicks. Go in the sides. Okay, keep going. Almost done with our 5 minutes workout. Knee high. Try this every morning. It's going to do wonders to your body. Let's go, we're almost there. All right, team. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. This is Isaac Matza, your presenter. I'm going to see you next time at the same time. And have a great day. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.
Well, like I always say, it's a non-line. Hope you've managed to stretch 1 or 2 muscles. Back to you, Sarah. What do you think is the best exercise to do?
In the morning?
Yeah, what's your health tip? Yeah, what's your health tip for today?
Okay, so for today, my health tip is that you have to, first, Precious, let me phrase a question to you. Mm-hmm. What workouts do you usually do in the morning?
I run.
Oh, you do?
I'm back on the road, yes. I started jogging today.
Oh, I think I
got back on the road. I started jogging today.
Okay. No,
so for me, that works in the morning. Like others prefer after work. I tried in the evenings, but then I realized that I was waking up late the following day because my body just feels like it wants to rest. So I decided to be starting my workouts like at 5 and then like for 30 minutes or 45 and then get back home, take a shower, and then my day starts like that. So for me, jogging does it.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, as in for me, I love squats. Mm-hmm. You know, when I do that.
There's a lot. It's like you're trying to work on a specific part of the body.
You know beta. You know beta. So I would advise every lady out there
to try them out.
Try out.
And also there's some side effects to that, but you need to make sure that if you're going to do it every day, you need to be consistent.
Okay.
But for a certain period of time. So if you started this week, you have 5 more weeks to go. So it's 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
Yes, that's like a month and 2 weeks. that's the best for that specific exercise.
Just a specific.
And then also I have noticed that people that feel like going on a diet once they gain some weight, I am the people is me.
Wow.
But then I realized that you don't have to be constantly going on diets, but make eating healthy a habit.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
so yeah, organic foods are the best. Avoid fats, avoid fast foods,
but avoid
processed foods. Well, for you, now some of us, we just breathe fries. We gain 5 kgs.
I get you.
So yeah, that's some health tips that you can take. As she's mentioned, allege at least once in a while.
Just once
the
in a while.
age range between 18 and 26, 27, somewhere there, 30. At least at some point in your life, you should have done like some squats and some sorts.
Definitely. It's very
if you were trying to work on a specific part of you. Sarah. But anyways, away from that, let's get into our second segment, which is the health talk. Let's get to find out what we have for you on that segment on the other side.
Morning everyone, this is Dr. Mkandila talking to you. I'm here to present to you another interesting topic that we usually ignore, and that is oral ulcers or oral sores, or the sores that we find in the mouth. But previously on our topic, I explained to you and I emphasized on awareness of expectant mothers, when exactly they're supposed to see the dentist and so on. As I emphasize that even pregnant women can also have access to oral hygiene, which is very important. So for today, I want to talk to you about oral ulcers or mouth sores, as literally that's what patients come and they'll tell you. Usually mouth sores or oral ulcers, they usually happen maybe due to some chemical substance that you've used. For example, if you've used maybe a strong mouthwash, you did not dilute it, usually that chemical can really burn your soft mucosa. They can create some small sores in your mouth. Sometimes it can be due to some irritation, like for example, if you're from eating something, it can be fish, bone or anything, you accidentally bite on it, you can have a sore or an ulcer kind of like. You only get worried if you find that the ulcer that you have in your mouth has taken more than 2 to 3 months and up. It has not healed. Then you get really worried. Because normally if you have a sore in the mouth or you have an ulcer in the mouth, within just weeks, 1 week, 2 weeks, it's supposed to disappear actually. So what normally causes that is some chemicals we are using. For example, like I've mentioned, some strong chemicals like some mouthwash, without you diluting it, it will definitely burn your soft tissues there. And for example, when we bite yourself, there are some other people, they bite themselves. You are seated, you're just biting. But you find that you are creating sores inside your mouth or in your soft mucosa there, you're creating sores. So what we normally tell patients is that when we have such cases, we will definitely treat it for you, but meaning that those other small habits which one's not supposed to do, supposed to come to an end, like you're supposed to stop. Like for example, when you are just biting, sometimes you sit and you start biting. Those are some of the things that need to be controlled. But you find that some other ulcers, they can stay for a very long time in the mouth. If it stays for more than months, you need to get worried. You need to seek help out there. It means that it's no longer going to be a sore, it's turning into something bigger. It can turn into a bigger disease. I know with people out there, they still have phobia that I'll go to the dentist, but I'm scared. or in rural communities, you hear people say, no, I was thrown something, that's why I have this. But us who believe in science, we believe these things are caused by certain object or certain substance or certain chemicals that we took, or accidentally when you're eating, you bite on yourself, you end up having a sore. So how do you treat it? We normally emphasize to our patient that you can use a mouth, if you want, you can use your mouthwash, but you need to reduce that concentration level, meaning that you need to dilute it in a glass of water, because some mouthwash has got a very strong concentration of alcohol in it. So you need to dilute it in water and then you can rinse it in your mouth. We do also give out prescription of some treatment like some Quadragel. Those are just topical cream that you can apply, and they're friendly in the mouth. They'll not cause any harm. They're actually very friendly. They've got a flavorable taste. It will not bring any harm. Apart from that, if we notice that that ulcer has become more, it's no longer small or anything, we can prescribe some antibiotics. But normally we emphasize to our patient that there are certain things you can avoid to have those ulcers. Usually, if you avoid these things that I've mentioned, if you're using your mouthwash, dilute it. If you are eating or you like biting yourself when you're seated, you're doing nothing, you need to stop those things, because if you do not stop, you'll be making the ulcer or the sore in the mouth to get worse. So in short, what I want to say is that whatever we do in our own time or our oral hygiene, it's important to remember these little things. I know we usually forget, but it's usually important that one remember that if I've got an ulcer, let me go and reach out for help. Let me visit a clinic. I'll be told what to do. Let us not self-medicate, because we find people medicating themselves. They use different kind of chemicals. Others use even soda. Others use even acid from the battery. There are so many chemicals our communities out there or the population out there are using, which is wrong for your gums or for your teeth. You find someone has got ulcers, but they use soda to apply. Nothing happened. Others, they use even Colgate paste, they apply. But instead of the healing process to taking place, nothing is happening. You find that the ulcer is increasing and increasing in size. So I'll emphasize that patients get to be aware of all these things. Let them visit any nearest clinic. Let them be given a proper advice on how to take care of their wound. If you've got sores in the mouth, visit any nearest clinic. You'll be given the correct treatment on how to treat that sore in the mouth. As I conclude, I'll emphasize that everybody out there should know when exactly to visit a dentist, when exactly to treat their teeth, and please, I'm emphasizing that people should not be doing self-treatment. That's why we are here to help you. We don't want people to do self-treatment of using things like batteries, soda, using charcoal. There are so many chemicals people are using out there for self-treatment of teeth. But I'm here to emphasize that we can always change. We can always visit our facilities, and the correct treatment will be given to you. Correct method of your health hygiene will be given unto you. As I conclude, I would say that we can all take care of our sores. If you do not have mouthwash, you can use warm, salty water. It actually helps as well. You can just rinse 2-3 times. Within a week or so, your sore will finish. But if your sore takes long, it means it's something else. It's no longer just any ulcer. It can be a serious disease you're having. I'll leave a word of encouragement that as we are celebrating our Oral Health Day, I encourage everyone, whether young, adult, elderly, to visit any nearest facility and get the correct treatment.
Well, there you have it. That was what we had for you on the Health Corner for today on the Health Talk, and they were talking about how to oral and how to take care of your mouth sores just in case you have had any. Have you ever experienced such before?
I think only once, but it's been long.
It's been a long time. Yeah. I have a tendency of eating a lot of snacks like crisps, crackers and stuff like that, so I get to experience the mouth sores, mouth cuts and stuff like that. And I've had issues with my gum as well. They also mentioned that using undiluted mouthwash is also not advised because it's very strong. So you need to dilute your mouthwash if you want it to be effective. And in case you get to have any issues in your mouth that you feel there's a discomfort in your mouth, the best is to visit a dentist at least in a year, even twice.
It's very important.
Because people are saying, I can't afford going to the dentist, but at least twice in a year, take care of your mouth, because that's where that's where everything is done there. And also change your toothbrushes after how many months? Every three months?
Less than 3 months. Don't use it the whole entire year.
We know people that have had toothbrushes for like
a year or 2 years.
No, because the more you use a toothbrush, it becomes very uncomfortable in the mouth.
Yeah, right.
Because the brushes become
a bit weak.
All over and a bit weak all over the place, which means they might hurt your gums when you're trying to brush your teeth.
Definitely.
And there's still a debate on the floor how you brush your teeth. Is it like this or it's like this? Is it like this?
It should be in circular motion.
I'm thinking of it. But anyways, hope you've learned one or two things on our Health Corner segment. Right about now, we get into zooming into the headlines, and which marries our topic of discussion. What do you think would be the permanent solution to our healthcare challenges that we are facing in Zambia? Call us on 0968 675273, 0968 675273. We all at some point have experienced the issue of going to a health facility, either community, government, or sometimes even private hospitals or health centers, where you are unable to get the medicine that you need, but you will be given a prescription, which is one thing that we've been battling with for the longest time. So what do you think is a permanent solution to actually that would help us deal with our healthcare challenges that we are facing in Zambia? 0968 675273. It's actually very helpful that at some point you would even go and you would have Panadol on your prescription.
Only Panadol, imagine.
Yes.
And Panadol is missing the hospitals. It's so disappointing.
Imagine going to, it's actually quite disappointing. So medicine shortages in health facilities has been a discussion for the longest time. It's been a challenge for the longest time.
I think it's popped up last year to say we have shortages of medicine, but it wasn't considered. But the good part is that it has been considered this year, and they're working on it, which is the good part. You would go to the hospital where you'd be expecting to get the medicine
and the help that you need.
Yes. Then at the end they give a prescription.
And you have to spend money. What if you don't have the money to buy the medicine that you've been prescribed to buy? That's where the challenge is.
That's where the challenge is, because I saw a certain clip. This person, there's a certain gentleman who complained to say, I went for a checkup, then they had to tell me what I was suffering from, then they had to prescribe the medicine that I should take, but I never had the money. So I had to use traditional medicine. But
as a solution.
Yeah, as a solution.
But then the question is, how did you manage to get the traditional? Don't you like buy traditional medicine as well? So yeah, there's that question mark.
There is.
And which is also another disadvantage. You will have, there are people that have access to traditional medicine but don't have the money to get the medication that has been prescribed by them, for them actually, by a doctor from a hospital. So now the question is, what's the permanent solution? We need a permanent solution. Is the solution that's coming now permanent, or maybe after some time we'll go back and forth again with crying about shortages of medicine, and now we even get to have issues, and we don't somehow 100% trust our health facilities anymore, or the ministry, because we had the honeybee situation, and we had drugs that were expired and stuff like that. So we need a permanent solution. So we had one of opposition political party leaders, Mr. Harry Kalava, that's actually highlighted on that challenge, which is shortages of drugs and in health facilities. And this is what happened.
The government of the Republic of Zambia is working towards providing universal health coverage so that everyone has access to quality health care without having to face financial hardship. But this route has not been short of challenges, among them the issue of drug shortages. Democratic Party President Harry Kalaba, Monday, who went to check on patients at the Challenge First Level Hospital to understand their challenges, is concerned that citizens are being prescribed medication at a time when people are struggling to cope with the high cost of living. This woman shared her experience, saying that she was not given medication for her child and that she was only told to buy amoxil.
Chalisungusha sana mwana wa 6 months tete ano tablet nangu pano nangu ni mwisho na uile tete ano yapolo so chalisungusha sana kuchipata ubukulu itachukua ite amoxil syrup bali ndembera amoxil syrup na lichita enda pokuya mkushita instead ya kusenda kuchipatara bombelepo impana domu chipatara chifire ile sangwe mitisha bana chifire chile sangwe mo especially ku bana abo bapose kwa mano abantu abengi bare ilishanya waipusha tawe na ineta kuli bandembere fyati nde yanshite bamone fintu na fishupa.
Surprising, Mr. Kalaba, who went to the farmers to check on the drug situation, inquired and was given a bottle which he later delivered to the woman, much to her excitement. Very sad. But that also pointed out to the fact that there are inequalities at these health facilities. Mr. Kalaba is concerned that the drug shortage is mainly affecting the vulnerable citizens.
And I'm saddened. I'm very saddened with what I found. You know, a situation where even basic medicines that one expects to find, you know, you can't get them here at Challenge Hospital. Now, if you can't get them here, what about in the far-flung areas? I think government must begin taking the health of our people very seriously. They have to really do everything they can do within their powers to ensure that drugs begin flowing here. Because it's like coming to the hospital now is not to get any medicine. It has to be told what you are suffering from, just to confirm that if you're well and iffy, go and buy the drugs. Now that is not the way we should proceed.
The opposition leader says the prevailing situation contradicts the aspirations of the United Party for National Development Administration of ensuring quality healthcare services.
Universal health coverage in such a sham way, you can't. We are far from it because I think we have not prioritized the health sector in this country. And at the end of the day, we are putting our health workers at risk because patients coming here are beginning to think it is the health workers who are not giving them medicines, and yet they just don't have. All they are getting are prescriptions. Where is the money going to come from? I don't think we should be operating like that. That's not correct. It's very annoying, extremely annoying that we can be playing such shenanigans with our patients. I think we should drop it. So we are far from it. They promised that they're going to do, they'll take our health system seriously. There is nothing to show that they're taking our health system seriously. We have stayed for 6 months without drugs. How can we survive as a nation like that? How?
Notably, recently, Health Minister Sylvia Masebo, during a ministerial statement in Parliament, explained that it was due to changes in the supply system in view of cleaning up the sector to curb irregularities. Patrick Soko, Camnet News in Lusaka.
I think we should just all start storming health facilities to go and check.
We should all start.
Well, I would take it that's part of the opposition doing its checks and balances and trying to just offer the necessary critics to the current government. I don't know if we're still calling them the New Dawn. Yeah, we're still calling them the New Dawn. The New Dawn government, which is the United Party for National Development. So that's one of the opposition political party leaders offering his checks and balances, and that was his view. But then that has actually brought a whole lot of opinions. We have had a response from our health minister, Madam Sylvia Masebo. We had something from ZAMSA. So we'll get to have these two, and then later on we'll have the response that we got from our president, His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. For now, let's get into what the health minister had to say, and also ZAMSA on the other side.
Information obtained from the Ministry of Finance has indicated that a sum of 217 million kwacha was released to the Ministry of Health in January 2022 for the procurements of drug and medical supplies. A further 650 million kwacha was released in February 2022 for the procurement of the same. This brings the total amount of resources released for the procurements of drugs and medical supplies to 8,607 million kwacha in 2 months. The recent reported shortage of medicines in the country, however, raises more questions than answers, such as what has happened with the 867 million kwacha released for the procurement of drugs. Ministry of Health Permanent Secretary Administration Dr. George Mangwende, when asked, has explained that all the resources were channeled to ZAMSA, which has the mandate to procure drugs.
Yes, indeed, the money was released, and the money moved to ZAMSA, which is our procuring entity when it comes to drugs. You might be aware, ladies and gentlemen, that ZAMSA has been procuring medications, and a specific day in point is yesterday. Amongst the other procurements that we were doing, yesterday we did quite a huge procurement from a named contractor.
Meanwhile, Health Minister Sylvia Masebo says the reported shortage of medicines is political, and that our ministry will continue to stabilize the supply of medicines in the country, even though this will take some time.
Whilst in some facilities the availability of drugs may be low, he also knows that in some facilities it is not an issue. And this halabaloo is all political in most cases. And I'm also happy to say that we shall continue to stabilize the supply of drugs in this country.
And the minister says typhoid outbreak was reported in Mbala district and has urged citizens to ensure that they boil their drinking water, avoid eating cold foods, and take precaution not to contract typhoid.
People with symptoms of fever should report to the nearest healthcare facility. 2, everyone should continually observe personal and community hygiene to avoid possible spread of the infection. 3, everyone ought to be careful and sure of the source of their drinking water. It is important to boil water for drinking or treat it with chlorine.
And Minister of Science and Technology Felix Mutati says his ministry has come up with a technology aimed at tracking the movements of drugs from the point of procurement to the point of entry and distribution in the country.
This is a very important tracking mechanism where we shall know that a Panadol manufactured in Egypt arrived in Zambia with a QR code, delivered at our medical stores, and wherever it's been distributed, it will be identified.
The health minister also took time to update the media on the COVID-19 situation in the country, where she has reported that one COVID-19 death was recorded in the last 24 hours and has encouraged members of the public to not drop their guard but continue adhering to the COVID-19 guidelines. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
This is the Zambia Medicines and Medical Supplies Agency warehouse, responsible for storing drugs needed in over 2,500 health facilities countrywide. While the warehouse looks full to capacity and heavy of activity, its failure to allegedly provide the necessary drugs in public health facilities has been great subject of debate by various stakeholders, amongst them members of the public. To ascertain exactly what is happening, Director spokesperson in the Ministry of Information and Media, Tabokawana, towards ZAMSA Friday afternoon.
I think we are satisfied after having conducted a tour that we have the issue of the drug situation in the country being attended to, and actively so. We have been able to see that drugs are rolling in. We have drugs coming into the facility. We have drugs that are being put on quality assurance within the facility, which is about 48 hours or more, depending on the situation, because some drugs have to be quality assured within, but others may need to be taken to Zambia Bureau of Standards laboratory, and that may take a little bit longer. But then also we have enough drugs now going out of the facility, going to the health facilities. But let's be mindful of the two factors: the time consumed with quality assurance and also the demand out there. But we are sure that within the next 3 to 4 weeks, the demand will be adequately met, and the story of drug shortages will be a thing of the past. We do realize and recognize that we've had a problem with the drugs, but like was said even yesterday by His Excellency, the situation was not as bad as it was being portrayed, like there was completely no drugs. There are a bit of drugs out there, but they were scanty.
And Mr. Kawana explained what might have caused further delays in the procurement of medicines as a result of legal process involved in trying to clear up the system.
There's a problem with the drugs, and the problem has been attended to. The issue also to understand is that previously the Ministry of Health was the one buying the drugs, but now that mandate to procure the drugs has been given to ZAMSA. So ZAMSA are the ones buying. But they couldn't just outrightly start buying because they needed to attend to legal matters, which Office of the Attorney General has since attended. And now monies have been released and ZAMSA is procuring the medication. ZAMSA is on site as we're talking. They are also engaging suppliers of the drugs. Why are they engaging them? Because previously the suppliers were able to sell the medicine to our government at exorbitant prices because of the previous procurement system where it took a year plus to pay the suppliers.
And ZAMSA warehouse manager cleared the air about the suspected pilferage of medicines from health facilities.
Our system is watertight in the sense that it's meant to guard against pilferage and also to make sure that there is an audit trail and traceability of each and every carton that arrives in ZAMSA from the time that it arrives up to the time that it goes to the health facility. Our trucks are also, at the time of delivery, our trucks are also affixed with serialized seals besides the padlocks to make sure that whoever is receiving the consignments can actually check that the tamper-proof seal is intact from the time that it was loaded in Lusaka up to the time that it gets to the health facility out there in the districts.
Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The reported shortage of medicines in some health facilities has continued to attract public scrutiny, with some stakeholders alleging that the United Party for National Development administration has failed to live up to its campaign promises. Thursday, Zambia's Republican President Hakainde Hichilema visited the Ministry of Health headquarters in Lusaka to understand the reasons behind the shortage of drugs which are essential to humans. After 2 hours of a closed-door meeting with officials at the Ministry of Health, the President addressed the media and has attributed the shortage of medicines to a number of issues which he says some have been sorted while others need interrogations.
The good news is that talking to the provincial medical officers, they are all confirming, they've confirmed that, and they have purchases when those purchases are needed to close a gap. That could be temporary. What do I mean? Particular drug type. It's not available from the floors at the center. Remember, we are organizing the center as well, with the new leadership. I'm very pleased with the interaction we had with the new leadership at ZAMBIA. What used to be medical is now available. And then the purchase can take place as and when the particular drug line or type is not available from the central government.
The president also says the former Patriotic Front administration caused a mess in various sectors, which his government is trying to solve.
There are legal issues in the health sector as they are in different ministries, different sectors. There are legal issues. We all know that the country was not run well. We know that. We must accept that. Instead of fighting this fact, we must accept and start from there. So there are legal issues of maybe amounts that were owed to suppliers in the past. They're there. There are legal issues in the fuel. You know it, isn't it? I'm just grabbing a little bit, crossing over, of unpaid bills. What we're doing is unblocking these legal issues, but at the same time making sure that going forward we don't create new inefficiencies in the way we run.
And President Hichilema, when asked about why there is a delay in the recruitment of health workers, the president was quick to mention that his administration has been undertaking audit in whole health facilities to appreciate their needs so as to understand which areas need health workers.
We looked at the issues at hand and made sure that we don't continue with the recruitment process without dealing with issues that may result in maybe misapplication or misallocation of the medical staff as required on the ground. So again, we spend time to look at what's on the ground, what health facilities are on the ground, what do they need most.
The president has since assured the country that he will continue to visit all line ministries, adding that his job is not to sit in his office but serve the Zambian people. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Well, there you have it. The response has been given from both the president and also the Minister of Health, or a statement from the Ministry of Health. So we're hoping that that's going to be a permanent solution.
Yeah, it looks so promising, you know. It has been considered, so it looks so promising that indeed they'll come in and help out in terms of supplying drugs into the health facilities.
Yeah, so how best do you think we can create permanent solution to the healthcare challenges that we are currently facing in Zambia? 0968-675-273. Those we're zooming into the headlines, just touching on the issue that has been going around, which is the shortages of drugs in our health facilities. So that's how we wind up zooming into the headlines. Right about now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the money market. Let's see how the stock exchange rate looks like as of today. So now the US dollar is buying at 17 kwacha 0.73 ngwe and selling at 18 kwacha 0.07 ngwe. South African rand is buying at 1 kwacha 0.22 ngwe and selling at 1 kwacha 0.24 ngwe. The euro is buying at 18 kwacha 0.89 ngwe and selling at 19 kwacha 0.26 ngwe, and also the British pound is buying at 23 kwacha 0.38 ngwe and selling at 28 kwacha 0.84 ngwe. So that is your foreign exchange rate for today. And also allow me to take this opportunity to wish our CEO a happy belated birthday. Yes, I didn't get the chance to do it.
Happy birthday to her in there.
Can you sing?
Yeah, I can. Precious, I can try. That look.
I was just shaking.
Precious,
and also
to sing. You embarrassed us.
I can't sing. I did.
No, you did your best.
That was an embarrassment. Let's not even talk about it. That one, we were not going to talk about it. But anyways, yes, a happy belated birthday to our CEO. We pray that this new age opens new doors to greater opportunities, and may God continue to bless you. And thank you for giving us this great opportunity to actually explore our, is it talent or abilities? Yeah, something like that. But all in all, thank you. And also would love to wish happy birthday today is Mr. Geoffrey Ziambo's birthday, which is one of our newscasters. He's turned, I'm not sure, but something old. Yeah.
Something
When is your birthday?
11th April. My birthday will be on 11th April.
I won't be around. Actually.
You'll be around.
Oh no, it's going to be on a Monday.
It's going to be on a Monday, but I'll be expecting a gift on a Saturday from you.
I'll keep the chocolate that you've given me. But anyway, and also if you're celebrating your birthday today, happy birthday. May God richly bless you, and we pray that He continues to bless you so that you can see your future successions. Yes. But anyways, if you're celebrating your birthday today, feel free to actually call us, and then who's this? Sarah will sing for you.
I'll sing for you.
Sarah will sing for you.
Yes.
She even plays the guitar.
Oh, Precious knows about that.
Our friends.
I even play the guitar.
She plays the guitar, yeah.
You play guitar on your wedding day. Okay, not on that part, on your birthday.
Anyways, yeah, I'll expect that. 0968675273, 0968675273 is the number that you can catch us on if you want to come to live on set and tell us how best can we create a permanent solution to our healthcare challenges that we are facing in Zambia. Right about now, let's quickly take a short break, and then we'll be joined in by our guest for today just to highlight more on our topic of discussion. We'll see you on the other side.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. You're still watching Camnet Breakfast with me, Precious, and Sarah on the other side. And joining us on set this morning is a public health specialist who goes by the name Mr. Isaac Kumboroka. Yeah, finally managed.
You have managed finally.
Yes, I finally managed. But anyways, good to see you. Good to see you after a long time. Good to see you back.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I think the last time that I came should be in 2021.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the second time. That
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes, because I haven't seen you like the whole and we haven't spoken. So let's quickly get into our topic of discussion today, and then we can stretch it out and try to pick from whatever will be discussed. How best do you think we can create a permanent solution to our healthcare challenges that we're facing currently in Zambia?
Yeah, well, that's a very interesting question. I'm excited that you have asked that question. But before I talk about that, maybe it's important for us to actually set a benchmark concerning the current state of healthcare, not just in Zambia, but in Africa as well.
Yeah.
Yes. You see, it is an inevitable fact that the healthcare sector in Africa and Zambia inclusive can collapse if we can be badly hit by any pandemic. You see, Africa has been the land for various pandemics in history. We can talk about the Ebola pandemic that we had. We can talk about the Zika that we had. We also talk about the coronavirus that we had. And these kinds of pandemics have exposed some of the weakest spots in the healthcare sector. And one thing that we love to ask is, how has been Africa's response to the weakest spots that have been identified because of these pandemics across the continent? You're going to find that we've been too reluctant. African governments, especially as Africans, institutional organizations, we have been too reluctant to respond to such situations. The reason why I'm saying so is that we have been trying to create temporary solutions to a problem which has been there permanently. You see, it's like you ask me to say, have a headache. Then I tell you to say, okay, you have a headache. Let me give you paracetamol, Panadol, Brufen maybe. It's going to cure your headache for 6 hours or so. But that does not mean that the headache will go for good. Because I have focused on the effects. I've focused on a sign. I have not taken time to analyze and cure or eradicate the underlying factor. So that is what basically has been happening to the African healthcare. We have been trying to induce or initiate temporary solutions that are only focusing on creating an impression that certain things have been solved, but in the actual sense, we have been focusing on the leaves instead of the roots. So if we have to create permanent solutions now, we need to focus on the root of the problem, on the etiological factors of the problem. Because when we do that, we're going to learn from history. Because the greatest thing that I've realized about Africans as African leaders is that we don't learn much from history.
From our history,
And because if we do, we could have taken time to understand and analyze, as I've said, the current incidences that have happened with the COVID and also the previous pandemics that we've had. In doing so, we could have actually realized that what is hitting us is not actually lack of drugs in the hospital. Of course, we do not have lack of drugs in the hospitals, but that is the effect. Do you know why I'm saying so? Ask yourself, how many industries do we have in Africa that manufacture drugs, that manufacture medical supplies? You see, we can have a situation whereby we have money to buy medications and yet we'll be stranded in hospitals. Do you know the reason why? Suppose we go into war, like what is happening in Russia and Ukraine, and then countries decide to lock themselves up. Where do you think you are going to use your money to buy the medications that you need to fill in the hospitals? Definitely nothing. Remember what happened just way back when the country was locked down and we had to struggle to import medical supplies because of the COVID and some of the restrictions that were imposed. And remember, Zambia is a landlocked country. Do you think we can survive if such a situation could occur for 2 years or so? No, we can't. Why? Because we have relied so much on the importation of essential medicines that we need in the hospitals and the clinics, more than investing in the industries, in the businesses, and in people that are actually doing amazing things in terms of bringing the solutions that we need, which can benefit us even in the long run, even when the world says we are going to lock ourselves down. So the number one thing that we need to do to create the permanent solutions to this is, one, we need to invest in the industries of pharmaceutical and medical supplies. We need to invest in this industry, because when we invest in this industry, we are going to have the confidence to even face any kind of pandemic we might have, because we know that we have somewhere to go to locally source the medication. We can blame the distribution, we can blame the government. Of course, this situation shouldn't be sugar-coated, because there are some situations and sectors that are sensitive, and health is amongst that. Shortage of medications like what we are having right now can definitely lead to a lot of lives being lost, and it is a situation which can't be politicized, and we need to call a spade a spade. But when we talk about permanent solutions, it is something that we need to do. Creating and investing in these industries that are going to ensure that we are well equipped, we are self-reliant, where distribution, production, and supply of medications and other essential products are concerned. So I'm trying to provide a scenario or alternative whereby we don't rely much on the importation, especially of essential products that we entirely depend on and that we can't live without. Because if we become self-reliant in that way, do you think such kind of situations will arise? I think it's time we need to invest in our own industries, in our own sectors, because that's the only way we can actually harness and cushion the impact of most of the things that are yet to come. Because coronavirus is not just, it's not the last pandemic. We don't know what
and it's here to stay now.
Yes.
And also, you've talked quite a number of things. You've talked about how we can have drugs being locally produced. You've talked about the distribution chain. Now my question comes, do you think we are actually capable of having enough resources to actually produce our own drugs?
That's a very interesting question, and I love the fact that you have asked that question. You see, look at the situation in India. India is now a hot cake, because most of the countries are actually outsourcing medications and medical supplies from India. Do you know why? It didn't happen overnight. India is a country, if you can remember well, which has been hit by different kinds of medical conditions and problems. It is in India where you're going to find a lot of deformities, a lot of people, maybe a lot of babies being born and they are joined in one or the other. And it is in India where you can find the highest population. It is in India where you can find a lot of people being hit by different kinds of medical problems. But do you know what India did? India used the obstacle which was on their way to create a doorway. That is what India did. So India right now learned from that. They had to condition themselves, to reprogram themselves to say, how best are we going to survive or adapt? Because if we are not going to improve our health care, we are not going to adapt. Therefore, India now is where everyone is going to, whenever they think about the quality of health care. They have the best medications in India. They have the best surgeons in India. The reason why is because they converted an obstacle into a way. Gradually. Now, the question is, did India think to say we don't have the necessary resources or manpower to do that? When you look at the statistics in the US, you can be shocked to say the most educated people in the United States of America are black people. What we need to do is to find ways in which we can question brain drain. That is what has been killing us. There are so many people in Africa, one, who can bring proper manpower, proper skills that can actually see to it that a lot of great things are done in our African continent. But most of them have been running away because the skill set that they have, the knowledge that they have, most African institutions don't compensate properly with that expertise. So we need to start investing. We need to start prioritizing people with exceptional skills and talent and education so that we offer them packages that are going to see them coming back to focus more on how we can develop our own healthcare sector in our African country. So concerning, do you think Africa has the resources? Africa is not short of resources. One, when we talk about needles and different kinds of drugs, these are manufactured from different minerals and different medical substances. Let's look back at history. You see that most of the drugs that the Western has created are the products of the plants that were being used way back by our forefathers in the treatment of certain things. Actually, when we talk about the plant which is used to create a drug for malaria, which is coatem or artesunate, you see, those are the plants that are locally found in Africa. You see, there are so many herbal products that are in Africa, and the problem is that we have abandoned our own way of treating diseases in search of Western ways of handling diseases. You see, my grandmother in the village has never went to any medical school, but that mother can treat malaria in a possible way. They'll just say, okay, get in this blanket, we are going to put some leaves and etc. there, and once you just inhale that, malaria is gone. Do you know the reason why? Africa has never been short of resources. Most of the medications are actually plant extracts. Do we have shortage of plants in Africa? No. Most of the pharmaceutical supplies are being made from different kinds of mineral resources. Do we have shortage of mineral resources in Africa? No. What we lack is the capacity and human expertise to convert and focus on the research that are going to ensure that we start producing locally available products instead of waiting every time for the World Health Organization to say this is now the time we can use this or the USA to talk about this and this and this. I'm not saying it is bad, but I think it's time we start revisiting history because before the Western came in, Africa was surviving, and Africa used to have pandemics. How did we used to survive? It's because of the knowledge that we had in how we can use the herbal medicines. The same herbal medicines will be gotten, they'll be sent to America, they'll be sent to other countries. They are going to package them, and then we're going to spend billions of kwacha to go and buy back the same medication that we are actually facing with. Why can't we invest in our own research? Madam, what happened to the Madagascar cure?
We don't know where that went. Yeah.
What happened? What happened to Sondash formula?
You're right on that one.
What happened to it?
People have actually come out and say, I have a solution for certain things and this is how we can use it. But
and what do we do to such people in Africa? What do we do to such people? The only thing that we do is to see how best we can suppress their growth and effort. I can assure you there is a company somewhere here in Lusaka or in Zambia which is manufacturing drugs and medications, and they have what they want. But definitely we can't actually give the contract, or we can't get medications from there because of some issues like they are there in terms of supply and logistics. You see, Africa's real enemy is not the West. Africa's real enemy are our fellow Africans. They don't want to see us progress. Try to develop any medication and see how many years it will going to take for it to be approved. And you have to wait from the approval by the World Health Organization before it is actually used. But before the World Health Organization came in, we used to cure ourselves using the herbal medicines that we had. So, are you satisfied with the answer? Africa is not short of resources. What we need is to be resourceful. Africa is short of mental capacity. We are not in the poverty of resources. We have mental poverty, poverty of ideas on how we can convert our raw materials into finished products and goods. Because the moment we do that, that is when we're going to actually handle and permanently eradicate most of the challenges that we're having. But now, it is a state as it is. We consume what we do not produce and produce what we do not consume.
Wow, quite interesting and very educative. And also, before we let you go, what are your closing remarks, or what is that one speech that you'd like to give?
Well, we have discussed, I think, one important component, which I think governments and the Minister of Health needs to focus on. Let's invest in research. Let's invest in our own personnel. Let's invest in our own products. Let us invest in our own education so that we can develop the necessary skills and capacity that are going to ensure that we start focusing more on how best we can make products locally available. Let's try to strive for self-reliance, and this is the most important thing that I can actually say for now on this topic.
Thank you so much for coming to Mr. Isaac Bumboloka. We wish to see you soon again on another, because you are quite diverse when it comes to topic of discussion. You can tackle in there and there. And I saw you are, How is that going though? How is your journey as an author going?
It is amazing.
Oh yeah?
You know,
do you have the latest book?
Not yet, but
one on the way?
I have the same two books. Yes, I'm working on something, but I have the same two books that have been doing amazingly well, and I don't want to get them off the market soon because I think they are still trying to create the impact that I wished for as I was writing.
What are the titles?
Limitless.
Limitless.
And
okay, just
galactic
one?
thinking.
Okay.
And you know the discussion that we're having about creating and developing resources? In that book I shared to say, sometimes we might think that the limits that we have are lack of resources. Sometimes we might think the limits that we have is because of logistics and supply. But actually the greatest limits that we have are the limits that have been impressed upon our minds. And in that book I challenge people to say, if we can liberate our mindsets to think creatively and innovatively, we can begin to realize that the greatest limit that we have is not resources, but is lack of resourcefulness. And in galactic thinking, I think last time I talked about it, where we're discussing about uncertainties and a lot of technological disruptions that are currently going on. In that book, I try to provide the solution to say, suppose there is no job, how can you make yourself relevant and valuable to the corporate world? So I tackle
technology evolution, or evolve, how technology has evolved, and you're trying to adapt to the stages of this.
Because whether you like it or not, in the next, it's projected that by the year 2050, 60% of the jobs that we have now will actually be wiped out. How many people are going in the streets to buy newspapers and hard copies? People said buy hard copies, and before they could even say that, the entire soft copy was circulating. So imagine people are depending on that newspaper for survival. It means they're going to lose jobs and they're going to lose value. The question is, how can you maintain the value in the rapidly changing world? That's the question, especially targeted to graduates, to see how best you can make yourself valuable and relevant, whether you have a job or not.
Great. That's Mr. He never stops talking. Yeah, that's Mr. Public health specialist and an author as well. Just highlighting more on our topic of discussion for today is how best can we create a permanent solution to healthcare challenges that Zambia is currently facing. Well, it looks like we've come to the end of the show.
Yes.
Do you want to go now? No, but before we go, we'll take a short break. We'll be back on the other side.
Thank you so much.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Hello, I'm Deborah Lukalu, all the way from South Africa. You are watching Camnet channel, not just another channel. God bless you. Stay tuned.
Well, there you have it. I was just giving a sign to Isaac to give us a full shot so that we say our goodbyes. But then he just came and gave me a shot for me alone just. But anyways, hope you've had a great show. I did. I learned a lot of things from the health corner to the money market and how the currencies currently foreign currencies are currently doing on foreign exchange rate, and also we looked at zooming into the headlines, and most of it we focused on the issue that has been going around, which is the shortage of drugs in health facilities, and the responses from different stakeholders, from opposition political party leaders to the president. And also we got a statement from the Ministry of Health, which is a good thing. And just on set, we had our guest who came to you and talked about how we can create a permanent solution to our current healthcare challenges. And also Sarah gave a tip on gave a health tip that it's important to what?
To do squats. To do squats. Why are you laughing?
It's important to do squats.
It's important to do squats, especially if you are doing it for a specific thing. It's important, very important. Precious. You're already blessed.
I haven't said anything at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, would love to say thank you to Isaac Chifita and Amos Lungu, that's on the other side, and also from me, Precious Mzea Sakaleji, and also from Sarah Mwanga, Sarah Mwanga Chanda, or Sarah Chanda.
Sarah Chanda Mwanga.
From Sarah Chanda Mwanga and Precious Mzea Sakaleji, have a beautiful day. Thank you for watching, and
see you next week, Saturday.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.